Men.
Okay.
You know the trailer if you know that part. Men.
I'm straight now.
I like men.
By the way, I'm straight now.
I liked men.
I liked.
I'm gonna put it as my letterbox. It's like anything you try to say, like, oh, you know what? Men was pretty cool. I like men are pretty cool, and it's like, no, I didn't mean it like that. I love men. Wait, I like men. Fuck Alex Garland. Why'd you name it men?
See,
Anything
now,
I say?
I'm just a casual enthusiast of men.
As soon as the movie ended, like right when we got to I'm not gonna spoil it, but like right when we got to like the last 10 minutes,
like,
this really fucked up, drawn out sequence was happening, and I was like, "So Gabriel, you sure you're still bi?"
I'm just like, you know what? I'm like, you know what?
You know what? It's kind of nasty. I hate British men.
Okay, let's
It is
talk
British
about
men. Let's talk about it. Let's get into it. Alex Garland's third feature film after The Amazing Ex Machina and The Amazing Annihilation, which you have not seen, but I think it'll be your favorite of the three once you do see it. He made another psychological horror, but also literally horror.
Metaphorical.
Ass. A24. It's an A24 film. It feels like your A24 film that you're thinking. If you see A24 attached to it and you see this trailer, you should probably know what you're going in for.
Yeah.
I can guarantee you the audience here who, when they left, said, "This is so dumb." I'm like, yeah.
If you go into it not really knowing what
A24 is, and
you're gonna be.
If you're thinking you're just getting a horror film about like men stalking a woman and gonna murder her,
and not The Strangers.
This is not The Strangers.
Not The Strangers, bitch.
That's better.
That.
Oh my God, there's a bang.
Oh my God, there's a bang at the door.
Thanks YMS for your review of that, for that part.
Whatever.
That's so good.
Fucking...
That could have happened in this movie. Oh my God, there's a bang
at the door.
You can do it with any horror movie.
Okay, but man, should you give like a basic premise?
Basic premise. A woman, and this isn't the trailer, so it's not a spoiler, a woman's husband kills himself.
Basically gaslights her.
Gaslights her.
That if you divorce me, I'm going to kill myself.
And then in the trailer, you see him falling from the building, so.
Yeah.
And she's like downstairs, so he clearly killed himself.
Yeah, so she tries to move somewhere else to like move on.
I think it's just a vacation. She's just going for a trip.
Oh, she was?
It made it sound like she's going as a dream house to get away. Because he said a rental house. So I'm assuming she only rented it for like a week.
Oh.
Because she was willing to go back pretty early. It's basically, I think it was a vacation rental house, and she's just staying there for a week, renting it from Rory Keener, who plays all the men roles in this, all the white men, besides the husband, obviously, who was played by Papa Josiah. I tried to read his name before. I think that was his name. It's a good name. And basically, she feels alone, intimidated, because there's literally only one other woman in the entire fucking area.
In the movie,
to be fair, there's only like 7 men.
But in the movie, there's only 2 other females.
Yeah, one is where she used to live in the city.
One is her friend that she FaceTimes.
In like London, in the city, and who she FaceTimes all the time. And
the other one is some cop.
A cop that we see who's not the male cop, who is also the male cop is played by Rory Keener as well. Yeah. All the men there are the Jeffrey, the house owner, the very nice, charming, goofy, kind of awkward house owner.
Yeah.
That you would expect from renting an Airbnb. Most people, it's probably what they would act like. You got the priest.
The priest.
A weird, rapey priest, as you'd expect. Toxic, annoying little brat.
Yeah.
Also, they're all Roy Keener with some really. It's like the de-aging is almost not good. That it's really good.
At first, I didn't even know it was him. I was like, why does he look 30 and 8 at the same time?
Oh, because the thing is the same guy. Yeah.
Yeah. Then I'm like, oh.
His de-aging is like not good. That it is good. It's like you can tell it's a de-aged person, like it's CGI.
Weird.
But it's like.
It's like a good weird.
Not, yeah, but I don't feel like the de-aging was that good.
Yeah.
Like you can tell it's that, but the unsettlingness of it comes from the fact that it's him.
Not that good.
Yeah, it kind of is like, it's kind of like Tron Legacy when like they de-aged
him.
It looks like it's not that bad, but it's not that shitty. But it is a little mediocre how they do it. And then there's the priest, the kid, Jeffrey, the cop, this naked guy, homeless. They kind of say he's just a homeless, like wacko, crack addict. Who cuts himself and sleeps out and fucking fully naked out in like the middle of caves in the woods and shit. And then there's these 2 bar people who are just at a bar who kind of look like they have wife beaters, so like they'd probably beat up their wife.
They look like wife beaters.
They look like wife beaters as well, simultaneously wearing wife beaters. And basically, she just feels alone and uncomfortable a lot of this movie, honestly, like, even if you're... I feel like for women... I think even a lot... I've seen a few women reviews say this is pretentious and Alex Garland made a fucked up film. I've seen some bad reviews for it. It's getting mixed reviews. It's at like a 70 right now on Rotten Tomatoes, which is not like... Not even like his other films. His other films have like 90s. And even A24 films tend to get mostly better scores.
Yeah.
So it's being a little mixed reviews. And some reviews I've read say it's one of their like most tension-filled, most uncomfortable they felt leaving a horror movie in years.
Honestly, as of late,
yeah, it was
probably the most
unsettling.
uncomfortable I felt.
Yeah.
That's because we haven't done really a good movie that really makes me uncomfortable. But
yeah, like when you leave, you're like, I don't feel like happy. I feel like this is like when I saw Hereditary and I went home the next night and I'm like, I at least need to have one light on when I sleep.
Let me say, like, that really, oh my god.
Like, it wasn't as scary as Hereditary.
Not nearly as traumatizing.
Granted.
It was weird. It got weird.
It got so weird and unsettling. Especially, I think, at least for me, the shot that was really uncomfortable was like the deep man voices coming in from the score to the woman's like, ah, and then the guy with the green face.
Yeah.
He comes, it's kind of at the ending. You see the shot in the trailer with the smoke coming through the bushes. The figure of him at that moment, I was like, yeah, that's really unsettling.
This is my favorite type of horror. The thing, it isn't jump scare, it's just stuff happening on screen. And it's just quiet.
It's just very tension building.
Which is just...
which I like. Sometimes it lingers too long to where I lose the effect. Like, at the scene where she's running away from the cave, I'm like, alright, it's been like 4 minutes.
Yeah.
This guy may be after you. And when he comes back outside her house, this is the naked guy, genuinely an unsettling scene. Like, as they keep walking around the house, I'm like, dude, this bitch is blind. Fuck, I've seen this cock like 8 times. She just keeps walking by.
Yeah.
I wonder if it was actually Rory Kinnear's penis.
Should we talk about spoilers?
Yeah, Rory Kinnear's penis is in the movie. That's
okay, penis. A lot of penis.
A lot of penis.
The same penis.
Same penis. Numerous times. And even a penis pussy.
Yeah, let's talk about that later.
We'll get into so let's get like...
This is technically ultimately the Gaslight the movie.
Gaslight, sexual... Okay, what it is it's the tropes that you see in toxic masculinity when it's referenced.
Yeah.
You got the bratty nut like kid who bitches and moans. It's like my nephew. He's not that bad. He's not that bad. But he did literally when the kid said "fuck off," and then the priest told him, "You first," and I was like, "Oh, good moment." And then you literally said out, "He's gonna call this woman. He's gonna be like, stupid bitch." 5 seconds later, the kid looks at the woman, puts this like woman mask back on. It's like this female Marilyn Monroe kind of mask, and he looks at her and goes, "Stupid bitch,"
and we're just like, Avengers Endgame scream.
The way we both thought, you literally said it immediately. It's like the next line delivery in the movie. Stupid bitch. And stupid bitch is brought back up later when the woman is texting her.
Yeah.
And I do believe her friend did genuinely send that text. I choose to believe it was not just like her imagination or a guy got the phone line. I genuinely believe like she's pregnant. We'll get into that later, like what that meaning is.
So basically, the course of the movie is she moves into this home for a vacation.
Yeah, but she also is doing work there. We don't really get a full grasp of what her job is. They literally say like, you got to fill out these reports.
Yeah,
and then she hangs up on the guy, and then
they don't dwell too much into it. But by the next day, the dude she had seen beforehand that she saw naked in the fields.
Yeah, in the cave. You see that cave scene in the trailer.
Yeah, she sees him again in her front door and near the tree in front of her house. Mm-hmm. So she calls the police.
They arrest him,
but he didn't go against them. He just complied with everything.
Yeah, he kind of just went with it.
So when the cops were talking to her, they were like, "He didn't mean no harm."
Even the female cop told him that.
Yeah, that's what I think.
The female cop was like, "He didn't mean no harm. He's just a wacko." But the good thing is, he's in jail. At least the woman had that one notation, because later on throughout the movie, that's after that point, she goes to the church where she runs into the priest and the kid. She goes there and cries and mourns because this is the scene where we actually get the full
about what happened.
The husband happening, the fight, his hand.
That scene was good.
That was a really good scene. I like the lighting in those scenes too.
Yeah,
they were like the red orange afternoon lighting, whereas the rest of the movie is a very green, bleak, bluish woods.
Yeah,
it was a very interesting.
I like the
difference.
Contrast.
Yeah, there is a contrast there. There's black British people and white British people. That's the contrast. No,
yeah,
that was what they meant. Yeah, they figured black British people look better in orange lighting, and those are some ugly decals on that car. Anyway, sorry. Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
Anyways,
judging people's decals on this ugly car. After the point of her going to the church, the priest kind of seems like understanding about her guilt and her grief, but he also throws it back at her like, Did you at least give him, when he hit you, did you give him the chance to apologize? It's funny, me and my mom were talking about the Amber Heard case, and I'm like, I made the joke like, Mom, Johnny Depp, even if he did hit her, he did apologize. Amber Heard gave him a chance. And then this happened in the movie, I was like, I feel bad for making that joke yesterday. And I'm like, that was the logic. I get the notion of the scene. And the weird thing, and the priest put the hand on the leg, I was like, all right, so the sexual assaulting priest.
It's getting weird.
The sexual assaulting priest is always like the element of everything. Like the priest is usually the one that in movies when they talk about a priest, they're like, he touches children and women, and he's a little touchy, a little pokey. He likes to put his fingers in a pussy, you know.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not
lying. Yeah, it's generally what the character always is.
Yeah, he's done gaslights with like, okay, but did you let him apologize?
Yeah, because like if you let him apologize about hitting you, he might have not killed himself.
And then she says, fuck off, and leaves. And then he fucking like caresses the spot.
Well, the reason why he said, did you let him apologize is because he hit him, and then she immediately pushed her out the house, like, get the fuck out. And then she said, I don't care if you kill yourself or come back, pretty much. Like, just stay away from me. I'm never going to see you again anyway. Closes the door on him. And that's when the husband climbs up to the neighbor's floor, pushes through their room, and tries to climb down to her apartment, probably to get to her.
Yeah, but
and then he slips, or he killed himself. They don't really say
they don't
ever.
Really know.
But I honestly believe, with the way the husband acts, he might have went back there. He was probably trying to go back down.
I think the fact that there is no solid answer makes it fucking worse on her.
Yeah, not knowing if like he was coming back to beat her, or like break back into the house,
or trying to apologize, or he actually did
genuinely kill himself. And honestly, like, the character, the way they write him, it's so believable that he could have it's so believable that he could have came back in the house and beaten her, or he might have just wanted to kill himself.
Yeah.
Like, I could believe in both ways. The thing is, the husband development is very minimal, although their scenes are my favorite scenes in the movie.
They were really fucking
They're both really good, and those are scenes have no music. I noticed, like, those were, like, entirely, like, silent scenes.
That's why we didn't even make a joke during them. I was just like...
Yeah, I genuinely was like quiet that scene. So when she leaves the priest, she goes back to the house for a little bit, talks to the friend, like, now all these people are after me, and then she goes to a bar. And the bar has all the men except the naked guy.
All the men and natives.
All the men we've seen so far, except the priest, the kid, and the naked guy. Yeah. And it's these two wife-beater guys we mentioned. Jeffrey's there. Jeffrey offers to buy him a drink because, like, her money. He's like, hey, you no need to pay for here. And then there's the bartender who doesn't really have anything to say. He's just Rory Keener as well, who doesn't even come back at the ending, which I found funny.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Unless he's the guy who, like, fucking threw the bird through the glass. We don't see. That could be the only thing I could imagine. Everyone else does come back at the ending. And then we have the police officer show up who tells him, yeah, kind of crazy. We let him go about an hour ago. And she's like, you let the homeless guy out?
We both turned around like...
You're like, the fuck? Why would you do that? And that's immediately when I knew, like, yeah, these guys don't give a shit. And I was wondering, like, the homeless guy was the one used for almost all the imagery at the ending. All the toxic men. And he kept growing like the leaves on his head. Like, he started out with like, cuts in his face. And you could tell, like, they had brown marks, like he had something in them. And then he puts one in his head here. The next time we see him, it's kind of like here. The next time, it's the whole face burnt off, kind of destroyed and ripped. And then almost like he's growing like life. Kind of like a tree sprouting. And there's the tree with the apples that constantly are dropping apples. And by the ending of the movie, because like we're already at the ending, like people are breaking the house. Jeffrey seems really nice. You're like, oh, this guy's gonna be like the one not toxic man, and all the other men are. And then she gets into an interaction with the naked guy who blows like the what are those flowers called?
The dandelions.
Dandelions that you like spin, and then all the shit flies off of them. And he like blows it all in her face, almost like a hypnotizing her, like kind of thing, because she like almost falls over, and then she like wakes back up to a reality and runs back in the house. Then all the different versions keep showing up. Like one runs at her and it's like the guy from the bar. The police is outside. And
then then the man keeps injuring himself, and it resembles the injuries that the husband had once his corpse had once he fell. The
first thing was the stabbing of the arm.
It's split in half just like his husband.
Then he has the internal organ leaks, which is from the mouth while he was drooling, and he had the thing. And then when he comes in through the door, and it's when he comes through the door, it's like his leg is like bent.
Yeah.
And the ankle's broken. The ankle's bent. And it's when they get in the car crash, because she hits Jeffrey, then he comes out of the car.
Yeah.
And then that's when we see the ankle's broken, him drooling, and he still has the cut through the arm. And she interacts with all the different people at a point. The kid's like, you didn't play hide and seek with me. You should hide, because it's the last chance you're going to get while I'm in this form if you wanted to kill me. And she runs away from him. Then it's the priest who tries to rape her. Then it's like the bartender guy just trying to beat her up, and it kind of goes through all of them. And then when she escapes in her car, you're like, okay, she's probably gonna hit Jeffrey, who's the good guy.
Yeah.
She hits Jeffrey, and we're like, fuck, that guy was like the homie.
Jeffrey was the good
he
guy.
gets up and he pulls her out of the car, and it's like, Mrs. And he says Miss that time instead of because usually he corrects himself.
Yeah.
This time he was like Miss Marone, and I was like, oh, that's like the husband.
Yeah.
That was like the first time I kicked in, like that he's saying Miss instead of Mrs. When you just refer to the woman herself. Pulls her out of the car, drives the car away. We're like, oh, that bitch just took the car. Like Evil Dead the game.
Yeah.
Someone possessed the car. That shit goes out all the way.
And she's all alone.
And then
only in that scene, I was just expecting her to turn around and just an army of men. I don't know why.
or something like that.
On the fucking.
But he comes back and tries to hit her with the car, and he has like a. Ah!
Yeah,
I was like, that's unsettling.
Like, that
doesn't even sound like him screaming. It just sounds like a fucking kid.
Then he chases her with a car, and he's
slams the car
smooth with it.
Yeah, he does a good Tokyo drift.
Really good
He does a Tokyo drift,
smooth
and he goes right into her, and he crashes like right in the crack of like the door.
Okay, the shot composition of that
the movie's
scene,
great. I think what they were saying with the. My guess is that's when the man is pregnant. And the guy is pregnant, and suddenly comes out like with a giant ass tummy. We're like, all right, what the fuck is going on? And I knew it was gonna be pregnancy, and my immediate thought was like, all right, he's gonna give birth to the other versions of himself, which does happen. But he hit the crack like right in the middle. I'm not saying that's like a sex thing with the lighting that kicks in, the leaf fall, because right at that moment, the lighting, right when he hits it, it crashes. She bends over on her back, and she's like crying. Then the light flickers and shines. The smoke comes through. That's when he walks through with the full tree. He has his like dick out. Then the tummy grows really big, and he lays down, spreads out, and right out of his
bussy,
his man bussy.
Fucking another. What was his actor name?
Rory Keener.
Rory Keener comes out of his bussy.
Yeah, which one was it first? It was the kid one because it was crying.
Kid Rory Keener
comes out of the homeless guy, and then the kid one
also does the same. And
comes out of his. More the tummy area.
Yeah.
And then it's oh my god, which one was it?
That wasn't Jeffrey then. Right?
Jeffrey was the one after him, I think. Because Jeffrey's the one who comes into
like
the house.
It was probably the dude from the bar.
Oh, one of like the homeless guy. It was one of them. And then it's Jeffrey in the door.
Then he birthed out of his fucking back.
Yeah, Jeffrey came in the house after that. And then after Jeffrey came out of the back. No, Jeffrey came out of the back. And then out of Jeffrey's mouth came the husband.
It was like 6 births.
It went on for like 5 minutes.
Even she was over it. After the third one, she was just like.
At the first one, she just kept walking back and was like, "I know another one's coming." Fucking
horrified. She was horrified. By the third one, she was over it. She was like.
The feet came out the mouth, and I was like, "Those are black feet." And I only felt the mention of saying that because I was like, "It's gonna be the husband," which we knew the reference from the whole time. And the husband comes out of the mouth, sits on the couch, butt ass naked, covered in blood, and he tells him like, and they have a conversation, and she literally asks him like. It's like, what do you want here? And the last line of the movie, he goes, I want you to love me, right?
That kind of go hard.
That was a great line. And then she looks at the axe, pets it, and she goes, mm-hmm. And you know, like, she probably cut off his fucking head, or at least his dick. Because that was like the meta. There was a scene where a friend told her earlier, you grab that axe behind you and cut off his dick. I love it. She's like, you know, the axe behind you. That's kind of weird. She just knew. For real, there's an axe there. And it comes back 40 minutes later into the film. And then we get the ending where it brings up men. As soon as she grabs the axe, like kind of like fingers the tip of it, and then it ends. And you're like, we don't know if she killed the husband. We don't know if he's still haunting her. She's just sitting outside on the doorsteps, and her friend pulls up. And the first thing I knew, I was like, the friend's calls throughout the movie, everyone sporadically is like, it starts to disconnect, and it looks like, it's like if my phone glitched the fuck out, and just on 2 frames, you just saw me going, like screaming at you.
It was weird. It was
at first, it was like a men's face. It wasn't even look like her screaming at him.
The hobo.
It went so fast I couldn't tell. I just knew it was someone screaming, like at the camera, and every time it happened, and then the third time she's trying to call like, hey, come to this address and then we can hang out, that way I'm not alone. Come to this address again, and then she's like, all right, can you just send me where you are? And then she sends her where she is, and she goes, I already know where you are, you stupid bitch, in text. And we're like, what? And when she shows up there, she like walks in like this, sees the blood trickling on her, then she sees her sitting in the corner, and while her friend smiles, while the main girl in the movie, Jessie Buckley, smiles at her, her friend kind of like has like a confused face, and we notice the friend is pregnant. And I was trying to see if like, obviously her being pregnant at the end, and they hit it until that point, is a metaphorical meaning of like maybe she's in a toxic relationship,
maybe,
or that was the one thing I wasn't 100% sure, but there's
some correlation.
There's a correlation about her being pregnant, and the friend because all the men are pregnant and they give birth to the toxic men. And this woman throughout the movie has had like weird interactions with her, and like, why would she be pregnant? Like, does she have a husband? We never said it. It almost sounds like she lives alone. And the entire time I was thinking that, I was like, who is the pregnant woman? And why does she know so much about the house as well? She's like, that axe behind you. I'm like, would you really see that axe behind her sitting on the backlog of the couch?
Yeah.
Like, every time she said something, I was like, it almost feels like you know, like, what she's going through, or like you know something about.
She didn't talk a lot about.
I honestly
I love
do.
the wallpaper. I love it. Ooh, that's what I read. And it's like,
yeah, the nice windows, they'll all see through.
Yeah.
And they were complimenting the windows. I'm like, speaking of see through, there's a guy looking at you with his fucking dick out right at that time. Overall, like I like the cinematography, the score, the performances. It's like all that's great. It just feels like the direction, like the sense of direction and the writing is like so. I mean, it is pretentious. It is very like. It is like there's so much like of a way to say like it knows what it is, and it's like you're putting it so like in your fucking face. It's like to a point, it's like really obvious. It thinks it's smarter than it is.
Yeah.
Like it's not that.
It's a good theme to talk about, but yeah, it was pretty.
I could also see it short in 20 minutes. Like honestly, it's only an hour 40. It doesn't feel long, but like even when I watched it, I was like, there are 20 minutes of this that you could cut down, and you would get out of the theater quicker. Not that it needs to be shortened, but like it doesn't need to be that long. I could have seen this done as an hour. This could have been a short film.
If it was shorter,
you could do this as a short film.
If it was shorter, I think it would have been better.
Honestly, I think you could do this in a 30-minute short. Just tell this whole story. It's very simplistic. Like a lot of the things we get are like a lot of these 4-minute sequences of like a really deep score playing, showing the imagery.
Which
her walking
again. Just a comment. I did really like the score.
The score is good.
Yeah.
It sounds like the kind of score you hear in these movies.
It's like a choir chord.
Yeah, it's a choir chord. It reminds me a lot of like Midsommar score. Like
yeah.
I've heard scores like this, or Babadook, like where it's like
the remix
it's like
where there's a dude and a girl at the same time.
Yeah, I mean there are multiple moments where it's like the deep voice guy and the chorus with like the woman, and all the scores are unsettling. Of course, like none of them make you comforted. You were talking about like I'm gonna buy the vinyl, listen to that shit at 4 a.m. I'm like, you gonna shit your fucking pants? Good luck. Go listen to that. You're gonna have a goddamn nightmare.
Yeah, but
I mean, I quite enjoyed it. I just don't think I think it's his worst film. You haven't seen Annihilation, granted, but I think it's going to be, again, your favorite when you see it.
This movie...
but it's cool enough.
I liked it.
It's good enough.
I don't...
love it.
I'm not sure if I'd see it again.
It doesn't have a lot of... I don't really know, like, what reason I would want to...
It's not deep enough to...
It's not like Hereditary, where it's extremely entertaining, and the performances are so captivating that when you see it again and again, it's just as creepy. Or even Midsommar, you notice something new every time. And I'm not even the biggest Midsommar fan. I only give that film a 7. And people get mad at me that I give that film a 7. It's good, but
honestly, this movie has tries to give the energy of like any other A24 movie or a Jordan Peele film. Like it just makes you want to think about it, but there's not much to think about.
Yeah, with Jordan Peele's films though, they're like way more mainstream. Like you definitely think about them, but you're also like the simplicity, and it's way more entertaining. His movies have your entertainment to them, so there's at least a value there. Even like Us, I would say, is about as good as the twist in this movie, because the Us honestly is kind of predictable when you really look at it. And even though I have fun with Us, I think it's like not his strongest script, and I find there to be a lot of cheesy moments, but it's really entertaining. That's what makes that movie so much fun. And Get Out, I think, is a great script and very entertaining as well. This is like just, it's not super boring. I was like, this is cool to look at.
I wasn't really bored.
I wasn't really bored. I was just constantly like, I would like if I don't know why I would come back to watch it. Like I honestly don't know the reasoning why I would ever return to this film. I'm like, why would I want to buy the Blu-ray, put this in, and make me what interests me to see it again? I got the memo. I like the shots. I could look at the shots, or I could get like a vinyl, like you said, like listen to the score.
Yeah, I would rather get the vinyl than the Blu-ray.
Yeah, I don't even know if I'm gonna get this on Blu-ray. Yeah. And like actually, a perfect thing for this, assuming because A24 subtitles go on sale during this time, if this was like $5.99, $7.99 on Black Friday, I wouldn't mind picking it up. Like $6 or $8. You get to watch it one more time. It's in your digital collection. The cover looks cool. You can check out the special features.
Yeah,
that's cool for that price. But this is not like, it's not like I just bought Licorice Pizza for $25. Like I would not. And I got a poster too. I won't show it because that'd be physically impossible to hold up over here. But maybe I'll show it when I get home. But yeah, it's not like I would buy that movie. Like Men was cool. It was solid. Good cinematography, great acting, good score.
Men out of 10.
Men out of 10. I give it a men out of 10.
Okay.
What would you genuinely give it?
I'm feeling, because I enjoyed this. I'd probably give it like a 6.5.
Interesting. 6.5 out of 10. So like a pretty good movie. Like pretty good.
6.25. I'd probably give it like
a 6 is usually like okay. I think 6.5 is like a little bit more. I think 7's good. 7 usually means like good. I would say.
I'd give it like a
6.5. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, I'll give it a 4.
I'm gonna give it a solid 2 out of 10. Family Camp I saw more in. I mean, I also would give this a 6.5. I thought you were gonna give it a 7, and I was about to be like, oh, 6.5. I actually thought you liked it more than me. I thought a bit more.
I liked that.
I know I did. It was pretty good. For the people calling it like 1 out of 10, it's like
okay.
Absolutely, they're saying it's like complete shit, extremely pretentious. I'm like, look, the performances, the score, and the cinematography alone are worthy of at least a 3 or a 4 out of 10.
Yeah.
Like, it's not horrible dog shit.
Yeah.
I sat through Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That is a movie that is stupid as fuck.
That some people really fucking like, which...
Some people do, but most people have not. Julian surprisingly likes it. Maybe that's like,
Julian, girl.
Julian, get better taste. You saw Phoebe Bridgers, you thought she was talented?
Julian,
we need to talk. Watch him come out of Men being like 10 out of 10, best film I've ever seen. We're like, I realized when I did it, I was like the same thing.
But see, I need to keep that.
When she said that in the trailer, in the second trailer where it goes ha ha ha, I thought that was like them mixing the score for the trailer, like her ha, and they like pitched it. I didn't realize she was actually gonna do it. Damn, she was making kind of a beat for that.
I want to say like,
this shit kind of going hard.
We're like, this going a little hard way.
And then the guy came out with his fucking dick, and then he was like
yelling.
Rah! He just went rah, rah, rah. It got louder.
I would have fucking shot myself.
The way you did it sounded like he did the what's that video where the guy goes He just gets louder. That's what he should have done. Been the
Yeah, but
no, it was fairly interesting.
If you like A24 movies, I think you should have.
At least if you're not gonna, if the trailer interested you, still give it a chance. The trailer is a little bit mismarketing. I will say the trailer does make it look more like a typical horror, which sometimes A24 does to get audiences because they know most of these. I
know the people in our theater.
Yeah, they totally. I can guarantee you, if we're giving it this, I think most of them would give it like 4 out of 10s and 3 out of 10s.
Say, what the fuck did I watch?
Literally, the girl like to the back left who went with her like boyfriend or something. I heard her literally go, "This is kind of dumb." I'm like, yeah, they probably have no idea what's going on. They're probably just like man pussy.
Man pussy.
They probably don't even. They probably don't get what's going on. They probably like genuinely did not put any. When I watched this movie, I was like, I gotta put some thought into it. There's something here.
You're like, hold on, let me come up with my thesis over this fucking movie.
And they're just like, man pussy.
Let me incorporate these 6 pussies on screen into my thesis. Hold on.
Yeah, I was interested every hole they came out of. I was like, is that your reasoning? Like, it came out from, like...
I'd like to see what the director...
Huh?
I'd like to see the director talk about the scene.
Alex Garland? I would like to see a commentary of him discussing, like, what the film fully means.
So, the idea about the pussies is that
the mouth pussy is my favorite.
Is it like a think piece?
He's genuinely a really... Like, okay.
I'm sure.
Just for how visually good this movie looks, you've seen Ex Machina. You know he's a fucking fantastic director.
What was the budget for this?
I don't know. I think Ex Machina, by the way, is only like $2 million. I think it's like that cheap, genuinely. And that's why it won Best Visual Effects. Annihilation's probably like $8 million. That movie looks insane. There's a scene with a bear in Annihilation where I did not sleep for a week due to the bear. I'm not going to explain it to you, but when you see it, you'll be like, I understand you. Horrifying.
One of the trailers I always saw for this was it Crimes of the Future?
Yeah, it looks pretty unsettling.
Bitch.
But simultaneously, it looks kind of cheap.
I don't know what to think about it.
I don't know. I'm gonna see it.
We will be.
I'm a Cronenberg fan.
We will be seated. We will be seated.
People apparently walked out at Cannes, and he expected people to walk out at Cannes. And they had screenings of it before Cannes, I believe, other places, and people rumored that it was like kind of entertaining, but just really fucked up and unsettling. I'm interested in Crimes of the Future. It's probably the movie out of all the trailers that's most going to be like the one we just watched.
Yeah, but also I wouldn't mind it. Probably my most hyped movies right now.
Yeah, Frankie and Penelope. Whatever.
Y'all, oh my god, y'all.
What the fuck was that?
This is.
It genuinely looks like a movie. Like, I'm not trying to make this as mean, but it looks like an ITN distribution film got like a theatrical release somehow. Maybe it's intentionally shitty and awful looking.
Producers were blown for this to be
put in
theatrical
release.
release.
It had an MPAA rating. When I saw the R rating, I'm like, oh, this is an official rating. Tardy Terra doesn't fucking have that. It's gonna just be like not rated. We're not gonna get a rating from the MPAA. That's just gonna go to stores like really cheap at Walmart. Yeah. And I'm like, this shit's actually getting a theatrical release. I don't even. And it's coming out in 2 fucking weeks. It comes out June 3rd.
A trailer.
And I was like, in my head, I knew when I was looking at like the schedule of movies coming out. I'm like, June 3rd has this horror movie called Watcher, which has some okay reviews. We might want to check that out just randomly. And I was like, but nothing's really coming out that week that my dad would go see after the week of Top Gun and something. I thought there was something June 3rd, because June 10th is Jurassic World, June 17th is Lightyear. And so I was like, well, now we have Frankie and Penelope, which had us laughing our asses off.
We were like, it wants to be Texas Chainsaw Massacre and X so bad.
Kind of, but it also looks like it has a very underlying religious theme.
Yeah, that's what I thought. At first I'm like...
It also looked like a cannibal film. I thought they were eating something. They said like eating fresh meat. I don't know, in the like tagline or something. But by the end of the trailer, it's like this big tittied stupid woman, this bearded guy who like is arguing against him. And the final shot of the trailer is these 2 guys driving at a guy, and he just goes, and I'm like, is he gonna make the car like fucking go flying?
Stranger Things season 1, the car just flies.
It probably would look worse. This looks cheaper than that. This shit looks extremely like $5.
The budget. $2.
It looks so fucking cheap. It looks so ugly too.
It does.
The only reason I'm interested is the big tittied woman, and I want to know what she has to do in it.
We have to watch.
And dude, it is R-rated for everything. That R rating took on the screen. I was like, bodies, maybe. And we got the trailer too later, but it was like sexual content, some nudity, language, drugs, violence, sexual assault, some strong language.
Oh my god, new Bob's Burgers trailer.
Fuck. Bob's Burgers trailer. Did not get a Bob's Burgers trailer. Disappointing. I'm seeing it Sunday though, so be ready. And we'll see it next week. I know you're gonna want to see it. I don't know what day you're working. Perhaps they might not make you work on Friday. You don't know. If they don't, are you gonna come watch Stranger Things? Then we're gonna go watch Bob's Burgers. If that doesn't happen,
you mean this Friday? I mean next Friday?
The 27th.
I don't work Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday.
Like the upcoming week?
Yeah.
But it's not gonna be out then.
Aren't you watching it this Sunday?
Yeah. Early screening.
Oh.
Yeah, we're going to an advanced screening. I tried. I booked you a ticket because like I thought you were gonna be able to go. I was like, even if you can't, we'll refund it. But I know you'd want to see it early.
Yeah.
Me and Angel are gonna go. We'll review it. We will see it. You're gonna see it. I'm sure you'll get. You haven't gotten scheduled yet, so you don't know if you work Friday. He requested off Friday, and your boss.
I might just not go anymore.
Shit, if you don't go, if you don't go, well, I'm not working Friday or Saturday this upcoming week. So if you want to come over early, we can do Stranger Things and go out.
Potentially. Yeah.
All right. So he might bail on his job. So good for him. Learn to bail on your job. That's a thing men would do. Men recommend men. Do you recommend men? Like to anyone who would averagely watch a movie like this, A24.
The A24 fans.
Would you recommend it full price? Like, do you think people should go pay $11 to go see this in the theater?
Yeah.
You think so? I was gonna say like maybe if you don't have A-list like we do, which is easy to go see movies like this, maybe wait for your $5 Tuesday. This would be a great $5 Tuesday film. Like, it's perfect for that. You don't have to pay as much.
I think to the normal viewer, I would not recommend this.
No, well, most A24 movies I wouldn't. I would actually recommend like Everything Ever All at Once, and even X. I think and those would work. But all our audiences and even friends enjoyed X and Everything All at Once. And I honestly think Marcella Shaw's Shoes On and Bodies look like they're going to be mainstream enough.
I'm so excited for Bodies.
That trailer's so goofy. I'm really excited for that one.
Charlie is going to have
Ski
Davidson.
Rachel Sennett from Shiva Baby. Lee Pace. The guy, he's the hippier looking guy who's like with Rachel Sennett in the trailer.
Oh.
He's only shown twice. And
yeah.
Do you know who he is? He's the villain in Guardians of the Galaxy.
The first one?
Yeah, he's Ronan.
Blue?
Yeah, the blue guy.
Oh my god.
Iconic to go down. Iconic step into this level. What a different role.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so I'm excited about that. So from me, Chip and Dale review will be up tomorrow because we're going to watch it tonight. And even though we already are supposed to be home. But Tilly's probably like, where the fuck are they?
Where the fuck are they?
I have to go to bed at 9:30. Anyway, no offense to Matilda. If she goes to bed, we'll watch it. We're still watching it. I don't give a fuck.
Bye.
Gucci Dobby, isn't it?
Okay. Man.
Wait, what are we seeing next for sure? You
next?
Before we do it. And we'll end it with that. Top Gun and Bob's Burgers and Stranger Things? Are you going to plan that?
Yes.
Okay. Top Gun, Stranger Things, and Bob's Burger. But you want burger?
Burger.